Here.
Here. John Francois.
Here.
Sid.
Here.
Witt.
Here.
Here. Here.
Approval of minutes.
Tonight we have minutes from council meeting November 21st and December 5th.
So move.
Motion by Massey, second by. Alderman Witt. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Correspondence.
Tonight we have a correspondence about the local law.
Received and filed.
We have a correspondence from the chief of police about mutual aid for supplemental police assistance agreement.
Forward to public safety.
We have a zoning change from R1 to UR3 for 175 to 177 Wisner Avenue.
Forward to legislation.
We have from Alex Smith a resolution for background checks of all tenants for a precondition to acquire a rental permit.
Forward to legislation.
We have patterns, accomplishments of 2017,
Received and filed.
and a letter from the Middletown Community Health Center about their operations in Middletown and their other areas.
Received and filed.
That is all for correspondence.
Go to the city. Mayor?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President, and members of the public. We have a couple exciting things going on. That's why the chambers are full this evening. First is going to be recognition of a job well done by our county legislator, Jeffrey Berkman, of the 20th District in Orange County. Jeff has represented us for 20 years in the city, primarily the majority of it being representing a large part of the city of Middletown. He has lived in Middletown all his life and has had a lifelong passion for not only Middletown but Orange County. Prior to serving in the Orange County Legislature, Jeff Berkman was a legislative director for Assemblyman Jake Gunther, and also who served from 1995 through 1998. In November of 1997, he was elected to the Orange County Legislature to represent the 20th District, which at that time included Middletown and parts of Walk Hill. The district is comprised of all of the 2nd Ward and most of the 1st, 3rd, and 4th Ward. He's the first Democrat to be elected in the 20th District since the Orange County Legislature was established in 1968. Jeff Berkman's record and his start in public service centered on library issues. He was elected to serve on the Middletown Thrall Library Board of Trustees. He was president during the planning and construction phase of our new public library at the renovated and expanded Erie Railroad Station in downtown Middletown. Additionally, he has served as a trustee for the Southeastern New York Library Resource Council and the Ramapo-Catskill Library System. Jeff is also a founding member and past president of the Friends of Thrall Library in the city of Middletown. Jeff serves as a trustee for the Middletown Walk Hill Historical Precinct, which operates the Van Duzer House, a local museum that has stewardship over many articles of historical significance in our community. Jeff lives with his wife Adrian and daughter Rachel. They enjoy traveling, especially visiting historical sites, not only here in the United States but throughout the world, spending time with friends and family. As a county legislator, he was a member of the Health and Mental Health Committee, Education and Economic Development Committees, Ways and Means Committee, and a member of the Orange County Development and Gaming Committee. He's also the former Democratic Minority Leader. What I'd like to do tonight is have the Council President, if you would join me. And I know you want to say a few words about Jeff. Go ahead.
Jeff, we went back
at
from
home.
Filming at home. I know. We're going back from the Tyson fights and high school ages. We used to always, work together. Jeff was the one that got me involved. I bought my house in Middletown when I was 22, and in Pilgrim Estates we complained a lot. Jeff said, "Stop complaining and run for office." So I thank Jeff for all his hard work, served our city, and you're the one that got me involved, and you're definitely the driving force in our city. Thank you for everything.
Jeff is also accompanied here this evening, as I said, by his family, but also Mike Paduch, who has been his longtime colleague in the Orange County Legislature, representing a portion of Middletown. But Jeff, if you and Rachel and And Adrian can join us. We'd appreciate that. And your sister, Marcy, if she'd like to. I heard her.
Former mayor.
Yeah, former mayor of the village of Goshen. So we got two things, Jeff, that we'd like to present to you and then give you the mic for a few minutes. Is a proclamation, whereas very basic, and acknowledging your years of service and your commitment as minority leader and an Orange County member of the Orange County Legislature, and acknowledging your service and thanking you for your service. More importantly, though, we'd like to present to you, on behalf of myself, members of the Common Council, and the community, the key to the city of Middletown for your years of service.
Thank you, Mayor DiStefano, Mr. Rodriguez, and Common Council members. Thank you for this honor and for acknowledgement of my efforts. I'm moved and deeply appreciative. In recent days, I've been approached by a number of people around town expressing warm messages of support and recognition. Thanks to all. It's no easy task to sum up 5 terms, 20 years plus of public service into a couple of minute speech of appreciation, but I'll try. There's all sorts of, getting out of order here. Like many of you, as Joe mentioned, I'm born here. I'm born at Horton Hospital and went to the local public schools. My daughter Rachel was also born here in Middletown, went to the public schools. I visited many of you and I went door to door over the various campaigns over the years. So I've met a lot of the people of Middletown. I've always kept the people of Middletown close to my heart, and I always will. I kept my promise to the people of Middletown to work hard with energy and passion and to fight for our fair share. There's so many issues over the years. I was trying to figure out how many votes did I have over 20 years, and it's thousands. So which issues do I bring into focus on my last moments in office? So there's saving Valley View, the nursing home. That was an extremely big issue. Rebuilding the government center, Indigo Water, which Middletown and the county shared for future development with job opportunities and growth. Environmental questions that are important. Other job creations, those are just to name a few. But I selected 2 issues where I began my career of public service and where I think maybe I provided some leadership and made a difference. Parks and libraries. And by the way, I was really impressed, Joe, with that resume that you found out. Of all those, yeah, I guess. First with parks, we expanded Maple Hill Park. Across the street on California Avenue, that was county-owned land, and we got it leased to Middletown for $1 a year. And to back that up, we also had, for the first time, a revenue-sharing program that the county initiated, which I was a proud sponsor of. So by doing that, we could provide funds for the city of Middletown to develop that park. So land and money, it was immensely gratifying for me. And then, Jerry, I just want to make a mention that the Heritage Trail is on its way. We've all heard this many times, but it really is. And also, I hope people have noticed across from Orange Regional Medical Center, Miguel, you probably have here right there, right? There's a boat launch. So for some of you out there, I have my back to you. This spring, I think you could have some fun going by canoes or kayaks right at the boat launch, public access. So we got the state to do that. I was on some committee to advise them, and I said, how about intermodal? I mean, different kinds of transportation unities. So they said, okay, we have highways. How about rowboats? And they put it together, kayaks, and anyway, the state ended up paying for it. Thrall Library, which is close to my heart. I was board president, as Joe mentioned, during the planning and construction of our public library. It's the heart and soul, for me, of downtown Middletown. I worked diligently to expand the library district, which provided significant funding from the surrounding previously untaxed areas. That provides millions of dollars to sustain our public library, something we can all be proud. And kids, the library is empowering. You can go with your parents, you can go with your friends. You could be a good reader, a bad reader. You could be a college professor or a dropout, but you all belong in the public library. You can all enrich yourselves there. All the while through this work, we kept our county property taxes low and respected environmental protection. Thank you to my lovely and loving wife, Adrian, my beautiful and talented daughter, Rachel, my dynamic sister, Marcy, who also was the mayor of Goshen a while back, so we got a powerful family, and Geared, my brother-in-law, my loyal brother-in-law. These folks are the sources of my strength and my inspiration. I'd like to wish the best of luck to legislator-elect Joel Sierra, who you know he was on your Common Council, and he will no doubt be a strong voice for Middletown. Most of all, I want to thank the people of Middletown for providing me, and that's you folks, for providing me with the opportunity to serve and to represent you in the county legislature. Elections are a public trust, and we're all replaceable. So thanks again, Joe, for you, for all our partnership, our friendship. Thank you for the key to the city. It's a great memento. It's a great symbol of me unlocking future doors for future directions, and for our shared commitment for the people of Middletown and Orange County. But for me, folks, it's not really saying goodbye. It's more like, I'll see you later. I will continue to serve and be involved with the needs of Middletown because I love this community. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and God bless Middletown, God bless Orange County, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Next will be the football team. It's off, yeah. Not great, no. This one's working here. There. Okay. Yes. Now you lost it again. Why don't you come down here and speak over here? You get a little exercise tonight, right?
Up and down, up and down. Just to give everybody a brief thing on Middletown youth football. These kids are 10 years old, 11 years old, and we started on August 1st. They started every day. The coaches, we ran them until they almost dropped. We ran, the school starts August 15th, so we start before the school district. And their last game was on November 18th when they won the Super Bowl. They went 110 days and never lost a game. Put their hearts in. By their second practice, we were running plays, and tremendous. These are our future of Middletown youth football and our school district. Mayor?
Okay. So what we'd like to do is we have a proclamation and a certificate of recognition for each member of the team. I'd like to have Coach Wayne Tibbs, Coach John Brown, Miguel Rodriguez, also coach, and Dave Nowitzki, if they would come up, please.
We'll come in here.
Yeah, why don't you go on the inside? Why don't you show that trophy off?
This is where all the hard work's for, right here.
And I guess begin with by thanking all four of you for doing such a great job with building character in the kids, but also winning the Super Bowl. And I understand you bought rings for the kids, solid gold rings. That. There's one of them, right? Well, it's not solid gold. Miguel didn't tell me the truth then. So what we'd like to do is bring each one up individually, gather around in the front here in the council chambers, and then as I call your name, they'll hand you the certificate, and then we'll gather for a group photo and with the trophy. Is that fair enough? All right, guys. I'll hand it to you as I go. Jaden Ericina. Congratulations. Ashton Autry. Up there. You gotta follow the playbook. Caden Blackman. Jaden Brown. Joseph Dwyer. Jaden Faisan. Zel Galarza. Elijah Green. Jared Howell. Fishni LaFranc. Okay. He's a second half player. Is it my cool man? McCool. There's that ring. There it is. See? Logan Matea. Okay. Logan corrected me. Name like Di Stefano, people miss mine too, but Matija. Eric Martin. Daniel Nowitzki. Jaden Perez. Noah Rodriguez. Javion Roldan. I got you, pal. Javian. Jersey Saldago. Kyle Scott. Sing.
Sing, yeah! That's what we all do.
Jordan Skyers. Preston Thomas. Bryson Tibbs. There you go. Constantine White. Okay. Ryan Williams. Now we have the coaches. You want to award this to the coach? Coach Wayne Tibbs. Who's going to give it out? Coach John Brown. Somebody. Coach Miguel Rodriguez. And Coach Dave Novisky. And do we have a certificate of recognition for Jaden? Is there a separate certificate? They have a note here. There must be something different. Okay. Well, can we do a photo with all you champions? Absolutely. All right, guys. Thanks.
Hold this in the front.
Put it right in front of you, Kyle. Just put it in front of you.
X to the chin. One thing mama gonna say we hit him. Ooh, my baby.
Who's bad?
Start
Start it up. Who's gonna start it up?
Who's bad? Who's bad? Who's tough?
What's up?
Who are we?
Bears, you know.
How we gonna give it to all day long?
Great job, guys. Great job, guys.
We're going to take a few minute break while they funnel on out.
To the city, anyone would like to address this council? You have 4 minutes to address the council. Please step forward.
Good evening. Vince Crescenzo, representing the Middletown Board of Education. Wanted to give you an update on our superintendent search. We're finally off the ground. We're putting together focus groups, and there'll be 2 community groups, presidents of the bargaining units and the PTOs, some teachers. But talking about the community groups, it's a very large number. And our search consultant wants to keep the number around 15, 16, somewhere in there. So there's probably 2, and they're going to start in January. So we're asking you, you're invited, if you can appoint 2 people to come. That will cover it, because there's going to be a lot of other municipalities and other groups in there. So there's not a lot to report right now, because, as I said, we just got the planning stage done. And you'll be hearing from us sometime mid-January, and the focus group will put things together with our consultant, and he'll bring that back to the Board of Education, and we'll sort through what's important to the community, and we'll take it from there. So that's basically all I have. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Sparrow Tobin. I live on 29 Washington Street. I would like to comment on a local law before you, Local Law 6 tonight. As a concerned citizen and candidate for alderman, I've attended many common council meetings and committee meetings. I've learned a lot about our city and its leaders over the last year or so. And what I've determined is that we have some very dedicated people working for us. Our leaders are on call 24/7 to serve the city, and they do so with distinction. Whether it be a snowstorm, hurricane, or return to a constituent's call, they do their job well. I'm speaking of the Common Council, President Rodriguez, the mayor, and their positions. As far as managing our budget and taking care of the taxpayers, they have continued to serve the needs of the city while staying under the tax cap year after year, and they should be commended for that. I've seen this firsthand, what I would call a culture of thriftiness at the Board of Estimate meetings. Our leaders make sure we're getting the best return on our tax dollars, whether it be for purchasing gravel to fill potholes or a new fire truck. I would say their performance over the last 4 years merits a raise. But I would also comment that our city workforce, the City Hall staff, the DPW workers, and other members of the CSA bargaining unit deserve one as well. I don't want to see them left out in the cold this winter. As a teacher and a Labor Council president, I know what it's like to go years without a contract. It stinks, it's bad for morale, and as a worker, you start to feel underappreciated. I've learned through personal experience and listening to the comments at almost every Common Council meeting that I've attended that we have some of the best workers in Orange County, or sometimes they're referred to as Jacob Skies, or the Finance Department, or the Rec Department, or the different departments of City Hall. They are the backbone of the city and do an excellent job. And I hope that at the start of the new year, new beginnings, that our city and the workers can come together and find common ground on the issues that are stalling negotiations and come up with a compromise to give our workers a raise, because they definitely deserve one too. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Vanessa Bassone, and I represent CSEA city workers. Sorry, I need to put my glasses on. I'm here to speak on local law number 6 of 2017. With substantial proposed raises for the city of Middletown mayor and common council president, it now feels like Charles Dickens's England for our CSEA members in this city. City employees who haven't had a raise in 3 years. The $20,000 proposed pay raise for the mayor comes at the same time as he is trying to force our members to allow city sanitation to be privatized in exchange for him to settle our contract. And this raise comes only 4 years after his salary was nearly doubled. While the mayor claims the lavish wages are not his doing, he isn't stopping them. Meanwhile, he no longer wants city workers doing the vital physical work of sanitation services to keep their decent middle-class jobs. Now, these aren't lucrative gigs, pulling in over $200,000, but these jobs do allow workers to eke out enough to get by, though some workers still have second jobs. This holiday season, it's the best of times for the mayor and the worst of times for the CSEA membership. A true tale of two cities. Much like Bob Cratchit in A Christmas Carol, our members are doing their best despite blatant disrespect from their boss. We can only hope that the mayor undergoes the same eventual transformation as Ebenezer Scrooge, because right now, what our union has heard from the mayor and other top city leaders amounts to a giant bah humbug. It simply boils down to this. If city officials agree to increase their salaries while their rank and file wages stay stagnant, it's as if I, as a mother, eat before my children. We once again demand that the city settle our contract now. Thank you, and have a good evening, and Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and Happy Holidays.
Anyone else would like to address the council?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is Susan Depew. Many of you know me as the Litter Lady. On November 22nd, I think, I received a message from Karen Sisko, the Deputy Registrar of Middletown, regarding a request for a group of people who wanted to clean up Middletown. And she contacted me, I contacted the person, and this was a group, not from Middletown, who wanted to clean up Middletown. It was kind of an unusual request, and I got involved with this woman. Her name is Cassandra Falcone. She's from a group called World Mission Society Church of God. I had never heard of her, never heard of her group, but I met her on the morning that we selected to clean up Middletown, and I had only spoken to her on the phone, and the mission of this group is quite simply to clean up a distance equal to the circumference of the earth in 2 weeks. It's not just Middletown they were cleaning up other places, of course. So I stayed in touch with this woman for a couple of days. I went out and purchased them bags, grabbers, gloves, and I met her and gave her the bags and things so that they could walk through the street and clean up. And they had a mission, and they started at South Street. After several conversations, she selected South Street and the railroad bed near Tony Boffa's. There were 40 people, not only mothers, but there were 40 people from her church, and they made a big dent. And I'd just like to commend them and thank them and hope that they, along with other people, will meet us as we continue to clean up Middletown. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, reports of department heads, economic development.
Good evening, everyone. Just want to update you on we had a meeting of the Community Development Agency this evening, and to update you on 2 properties that we'll be closing on, 6 Harrison, which we'll be closing on tomorrow, and we're on our way to closing Hampshire, House on Hampshire. So the program is working and moving forward. Next, in the early of the new year, we'll be announcing some of the newer other homes to be rehabbed for the program as well. Then on the Paramount end, just to report how well our regular movies are doing. You know, we started this program a few years back. Our sales have increased as of today, 12/19, about 49.5%, and our attendance about 51.5%. This is just for the movies. And with that being said, the movie companies will be releasing to us tomorrow The Greatest Showman, which is a first run for the holiday season. So we're looking forward to a great turnout for that movie. Go on our website. You can see the times of the showings. Also, tonight there's a resolution on a ticketing system for the theater. We would like to upgrade our ticketing system to make it faster, more accurate, and be able to purchase you can purchase online currently, but to expedite some of the sales and things on our website. Also, some of the releases we're working on for 2018 live performances, Oak Ridge Boys and Three Dog Night, and some others we'll be announcing in the new year. So we're looking forward to wrapping up a successful 2017. Happy holidays to all, and thank you for all your support and your vision. And we're looking forward to a great 18. That's all I have for tonight.
Any question for Maria? Alderman Kleiner?
Would you just mention the Polar Express last night?
Yes.
It was amazing.
Yeah, we had a success last night, the Polar Express, which we team up with the Business Improvement District and Parks and Rec. Chris might speak a little bit more on it tonight, but we had over 700 folks attend the event last night. It was great, and for a Monday night movie, it was over 700 people, and it was a good night.
Anyone else? Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
DPW Commissioner.
Good evening, all. I'm going to be relatively brief this evening because we had a long meeting so far, so I'm not going to elaborate too much. But I was advising you all along with the water main breaks that we've been having and how our guys really stepped up and they got to them immediately and they repaired the breaks and they restored the service as fast as possible. And we had a boil water notice in one location on Dolson Avenue that had to be for 2 days because we lost the pressure in the main. And everything came clean, so the water has been clean, and we updated our website that people can use the water. That was a couple of days ago. the snowstorms, obviously, again, you know how good our people do with the snowstorms and how they keep our roads clean. Everybody uses Middletown as an example with our roads, and we're very proud of that. Before you tonight, there are a few council resolutions. One of them is approving additional salt to keep our salt storage facility topped off, because we don't want to take any chance. I understand January is around the corner, but I really do appreciate your support, because you never know what happens between now and January. And all the time we try to keep our salt storage facility topped off at all times. A few years ago, the mayor and myself, we were looking around from DOT to try to borrow salt or something, and nobody had it. I mean, he even reached out to the governor's office to try to get us some salt, and it didn't work out. So with that experience in mind, I really urge you to support our request to transfer some funds for DPW. Also, we do have many other resolutions before you, and tonight, so I'll be happy to discuss them as they come before you when it's time to discuss the resolution, if you need any comments. The long-awaited Maple Avenue and West Main Street, finally, it's out for bid. We have the funds. Funds has been released. The bid opening will be on February 13th, 2017. And again, all that, not a penny from the City of Middletown taxpayers. It's all federal funding, which is the earmarks that were left over, and we were able to use them. I mean, this is not the earmarks. This is, I think, Storm Sandy leftover funds, but with cooperation with Orange County and Maria's office and the mayor, and we're hoping to start and have very good, successful projects over there. Just to let the public know, and the mayor will be talking about in the state of the city about what projects we're working on right now. In totality, there's about $51 million worth of work that are taking place in the city of Middletown for DPW. Some of them are going to be done over multi-year, and some of them are taking place right now. The roundabout project is going to be awarded very soon. The black dirt sewer is going to be awarded very soon. That's $3.5 million project. A 20-inch water line from the water treatment plant all the way down to down Manhagan Avenue. That's about $3 million project. There are millions and millions of dollars of project now. Out of the $51 million project in there, $14 million is for the energy performance contract that we have with ESG, which is owning the street lights, which we're going to be purchasing very soon. Rich is working on the closing right now with Orange and Rockland. I believe it's scheduled for Thursday. And then we'll take over the street lights. We'll replace them with LED lights when the savings, hopefully, energy savings will pay for the investment we're making. That's part of the $14 million project. The balance of the money is there's about $26 million out of the 51, basically, less than the 14, are grants. And we're very proud of being very active in pursuing grants. Again, the number is $26 million. That is a lot of money for the city of Middletown. I know the mayor, he's going to be talking about some more grant opportunities that we're going to be, that we will be getting. So he will be addressing that. And if you have any questions for me, I'll be happy to address them.
Any questions for the commissioner? Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Fire Chief.
Good evening, everybody. We have two resolutions in front of you this evening. We look forward for your support in those. And also, we had our department chief elections December 12th, and they'll take effect January 1st.
Tell them who the chief is.
Results, car 4 is Gil Flores. Car 3 will be Bob Brady. Car 2 will be Nick Barber. Car 1 will be myself.
Whoa.
Treasurer. City Treasurer.
Nothing for tonight unless anybody has.
Any question for Don? Thank you, Don. Police Chief.
Good evening, Council. I have just one item for you this evening. I'm happy to stand before you and inform you that the City of Middletown Police Department has been re-awarded accreditation standards by the New York State Law Enforcement Accreditation Association. It's the Department of Criminal Justice in New York State. This is our third reaccreditation, or second reaccreditation, third accreditation overall. It's every 5 years. We actually get audited by the state. And what it does is it sets the professional standards that govern our daily operations of the police department. It provides the accountability to our community, and we're fortunate enough to be one of only 25% of departments within New York State that have achieved and maintained the accreditation standards. In saying that, I would also like to publicly recognize Sergeant Jackie Welch and Police Officer Eric Hargett for their diligent efforts in helping us to achieve and maintain this accreditation standard. Other than that, on behalf of the Middletown Police Department, I'd like to wish all of you, as well as our community, a safe and happy holiday season.
Any questions for the chief? Alderman Witt.
Chief, could you just elaborate a little bit on today at Presidential Park?
Yes, thank you. Today was one of our Too Good graduations. Officer Beebe, who's been running our Too Good program for the last year or so, had one of her graduations today at Presidential Park. There's between 300 and 400 students, fifth grade students, that did complete the program and did graduate from the Too Good for Drugs program today. There is one more graduation this week, which would be at the Mount Carmel School on Friday the 22nd, and we will continue to move forward with this program. It is very successful. We see a lot of great feedback from the students that participate and graduate from the program.
Anyone else? Thank you, Chief. Superintendent of Recreation?
Good evening. We'll keep it very short. As Maria said, the Polar Express was a great success. It's more than just a movie. We had a lot of parents thanking us. Kids are there in pajamas. The mayor's youth council's there in costume, you know, punching their ticket, and Santa Claus is handing out the bells and the whole works. So it's quite an experience, and people really like it. And Jerry is showing you the nice antlers that the police department was handing out the door and ran out after 500 of them.
They wouldn't let me in without them.
So that's a great experience. We had, I think, 12 police officers there as well, helping outside and inside. It's another great thing in the city for the holidays. And in ending, I really have nothing to report business-wise today, but what I want to do is I want to thank the public for their holiday spirit and their commitment to their community. We have a slogan at the rec department, and it's called Commitment to Community, and that's what you'll see on our shirts. Well, without our community, it'd be really hard to have that commitment. And I just want to, I'm going to go through half of this little list. Just with the holidays, the volunteers that helped us write hundreds of letters that get sent to the North Pole. We were helping Santa. And some of those residents dug a little deeper to surprise kids at their front doors with gifts. That's what about living in the city of Middletown's about. The Lions Club with Santa Claus. The Mayor's Youth Council wrapping over 350 gifts for 54 children. MVP Healthcare donating 80 winter coats. Mid-Hudson Area Retirement Teachers Association donating 100 raft gifts of clothing. Orange County Youth Bureau giving us donated bikes from county waste. The Middletown PBA adopting 9 families to give them a memorable Christmas. Healy Ford and Joe Fixit teaming up with the police department and donating bikes. The Friends of Thrall Library teaming up with the rec department for Pictures with Santa. ShopRite donating 300 sugar cookies for police and children to decorate together. And then there's all the special events held in the city of Middletown. We're economically going to be thriving. We have a great educational system here, and Middletown is a great place to go to school, work, live, and play because of the people that's in this community that are selfish, unselfish, and dedicated, and have a ton of integrity. And to all those people out there, have a wonderful holiday. Thank you for helping make Middletown wonderful. We appreciate it.
Any questions, Chris? Okay, Corporation Counsel.
From the Law Department, we talk about the mundane. You have in front of you a resolution to be offered from the floor tonight in connection with the energy saving project that Jacob mentioned. We've been working on this O&R streetlight purchase for about a year now, and this is the last piece to have your approval of it, and we hope to wrap it up by this Thursday. So I would ask someone to offer that resolution from the floor at the end of the meeting. We also had our tax sale auction this past Saturday. We started with a larger list and ended up with 21 properties that actually went to sale. I have to give kudos here to Treasurer Don Paris and his office. They just are amazing. What a well-oiled machine. And took a little over an hour. We got 21 properties. The city had to take the bid on 3 of them, but otherwise we sold 18 of them to tax lien. So we pulled in a little bit of money, and that helps us out a little bit. So that's it, unless you have any questions.
Any questions for Corporation Counsel? Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
City Clerk. Any questions for John? Thank you, John. Okay, Mayor.
Thank you once again. First, I'd like to present to the council, I'll give it to Karen for your review, the Orange County Partnership 2017 Annual Report. As you know, we're a member of the partnership, and they've been instrumental in working with Maria on some of the major projects in and around the city, specifically the Amy's Kitchen project. And that project will be bringing in significant revenues to the city so we can continue to fund the city's portion of the infrastructure improvements that Jacob was referring to. So not only do we have the grant money, but we're going to have an additional, between Amy's and the CPV, about $1.5 million a year in additional revenue. So we're really moving along on the infrastructure improvement. And when you see your water main break and your water shut down, the reason why is our system underground is 100+ years old in many parts of the city. So we need to really focus in the next 4 years, and I'll be addressing that in my State of the City report, probably in early February. Don Lewis, I wanted to congratulate you and your chiefs on your rising to the level of chief. Don has been involved for many, many years, and I'm sure will do an excellent job. He's been very committed to the city, and I really appreciate all the efforts that the volunteer department puts in, and his leadership will be something that will be very helpful in continuing to control our overtime costs, while at the same time offering maximum protection to our residents. Kevin and Vanessa, your last meeting for this time. Hopefully we'll see you again in the future. Kevin, I joke with, is that he was a pleasant surprise to me. And he jokes right back, well, so were you. So, but pretty quick. That's that wittiness of the record reporter, right? But really, the two of you have done an excellent job and been very committed to the city. And just want to thank you. It's taken time away from your family. And I know there's some personal issues that with your family that you're addressing, all positive, nothing negative, all positive, and that you're unable to run, but we appreciate your commitment, and Andrew's going to do a good job filling in your shoes. So thank you. And Vanessa, short time here, but I hope you learned something about city government, and we hope that you'll stay involved. And I know we've already talked about staying on a board, and you've offered to stay involved in city government in some way, if possible. So I appreciate all you've done for the city and wanted to say thank you publicly to both of you. Now for the nonsense of Vanessa Besson. To come to this meeting and outright lie to this board is disturbing. Vanessa knows that the privatization of sanitation is not my proposal. Vanessa knows that that is a proposal by Alderman Massey that has been being considered over time. So we have to get that straight. But more so, where the issue has become prominent is that during negotiations, and I wish the Alderman-elect Tobin would have had the decency to speak with me regarding negotiations, and therefore I could have brought him up to speed. He said many nice words, but speaking from a point of not having knowledge of the situation is really disturbing. As city officials, we're not here to represent the union. We're here to represent the city taxpayers, while at the same time getting what we can afford and what's the best deal, and not only that, for the city and for the worker, while at the same time protecting services that we offer in a city. We are dealing with collective bargaining agreements. We're not dealing with individuals. We're dealing with collective bargaining agreements. Both the police and fire department have settled their collective bargaining agreements. Firefighter contract expires at the end of 2020. The police contract expires at the end of 2018. We have been in many, many negotiating sessions with the union, the Civil Service Union. At the not very first, but and in negotiations, you go back and forth. You put your proposal on, they put their proposal on, and you have a back and forth. In 2015, when the county CSEA, represented by the very same person who was sitting up here, the Region 3 of the CSEA, when they settled their county contract, I sat downstairs with them and offered them the very same contract that the county just settled with the other bargaining unit. The response was, no way. They would not tell me why, other than just flat out no. The local unit president, Glenn Arnold, came back. And Glenn said, what can we do in order to get more money on the table? I said, well, there's a proposal in front of the Common Council to privatize sanitation. You know what the proposal is? The city would protect those workers. That was Mr. Massey's proposal. I think we end up coming down to a layoff of possibly 5 workers who would then be protected by being hired by the private sector. And therefore, when we do the numbers, we'll run some numbers. What do you want in exchange for that? The union came back to me and said, here's what I need in order to make it work. Now, I'm not so naive to believe that at any point that negotiations between myself and the bargaining units are the final say. You folks here have to ratify the city portion of the contract. The union membership has to ratify the union portion of the contract. But what was dishonest about this process, and dishonest about her comments, is the leadership of the region, not the local, the leadership of the region came into Middletown and said, no, this isn't good for the region. This is not good for us. Not the city employees. The city employees were getting a bonus. They were getting pay increases in excess of 2%, which is way above what the county received. There was money on the table for them. They asked for that, and they didn't have the decency to bring it for a vote. They also, at one point, invited me to a meeting of the union. I came here. I made the time to come here after work hours, I believe, or late afternoon. The membership met in this chamber. As I stood up, the union people come in, the officers, and said, this would be an unfair labor practice if you address the union. I said, your membership has requested that I come. So, of course, I'm not going to jeopardize the city in any which way to in an unfair labor practice. So, of course, I did not speak. The membership is not hearing from the union. What happened in this case here, when they put up a letter on Facebook, that gives me an opportunity now to speak to the public, an opportunity that I haven't had up to this point. They have a significant offer that was met. They put an offer on the table. Our labor negotiation team agreed to it and accepted it. They don't have the decency to bring it for a vote. So before they sit here and make these unsubstantiated comments and claims and outright lies in some cases, they need to get their house in order. And they need to present the negotiated deal between the city negotiating team and Mr. Arnold to their membership for a vote. If it goes down, it goes down. Then we're back to the negotiating table. What I told them at the last meeting is I'm not negotiating this way. I am not going to walk in a room, make a deal with you folks, and then have you go out and not even bring it for a vote. That's not proper negotiation. It's negotiating against yourself. We're negotiating for a unit of 100 people. This is significant money and significant taxpayers' money. Not one alderman, not one, has come forward and say that I want to raise property taxes significantly to address the union's concerns. I think their one offer or their last offer might have been 5% per year 5%. Now, of course, they're going to focus on me. They're going to focus on the council president. These are these are raises over 8 years, and I don't care if the raise passes or not. That's not why I'm up here talking about the union. What I'm talking about is the dishonesty of the Region 3, of a guy, Billy Ricaldo, writing a letter to the editor and posting it on Facebook with dishonest comments, lies about the negotiation process. So I'm willing to open up that process. I'm willing to bring the media in, sit around the table, find out what is being offered on the table. I'm willing to hear from any one of you about how much money you're willing to raise local property taxes in order to give Vanessa Basone what she wants for her union. I'm willing to listen to your comments. I have kept you folks informed throughout the process. There is no reason why anyone should not know what has happened throughout this whole entire process of negotiations, because every few months I've given you an update and I've acted within the parameters that this body has given me. Whether any of you individually are speaking to the union, I don't know. But all I can tell you, I can tell the public, now that they made it a public issue, is that collectively, this board has authorized me to operate within certain parameters. We've made those deals, we've put them on the table, and I believe the deal that is on the table is the best for the taxpayers. It's also the best for the majority, overwhelming majority of the employees. So bring it to a vote, and then we can discuss other options if you vote it down. But until then, we'll go through the process that the state has outlined, which is a fact-finding process. And I think we've already had the mediation, and we'll let the chips fall where they may throughout that process. But I am not going to allow the president or the whatever Ms. Bazone's title is in this region to come here and make misrepresentations. And I'm kind of relieved now that they made it a public issue, because it gave me the opportunity to address you in public, to make the public aware of what is going on throughout these negotiations, and that my goal and my job is to provide the best service in the most economical way, and I think that's what we're doing. As you know, the sanitation issue has been a major problem with workman's comp claims, that my proposal was to go to the ARM, which would require an investment. There are two proposals out there. The union chose which one to go with in order to get more money, not me. Privatization was not my baby. That was Alderman Massey's, in which he's projecting, and legitimately, $1 million savings. So if the union expects to save, to get more money in their pocket, then there has to be a way to pay for it. And if any one of you folks has an idea how to do that without significantly impacting the taxpayers, and I'm open to ideas from Mr. Tobin also, please let me know, because we'll put it right on the table, and we'll try to make it work. So that's that issue. In regards to some others, we have a great program to announce also regarding the governor has selected Middletown to be a community of an LSLRP grant, and this is a lead service line replacement program. This is not mains. These are services into your individual home. We worked very hard to get the grant, and we were awarded $544,745. The process will be identifying homes that have lead services or a bronze service or galvanized service. And by service, I mean from the main into the home. We'll do an assessment and verification of those services and see how many private residents have this type of service. So this will be a program that will be kicking off very shortly. Jacob will be heading the program, and it comes through the New York State Department of Health. Jacob touched on the other two grants, the Maple Hill and the, I just wanted to put a face. I know I've been, West Main, I've been beating up Mr. Mayfield, and I've threatened to put his phone number up on the board. Well, now that the paperwork is all done, I don't know if, Mr. Mayfield, can you come up here just so we can put a face? Yeah. Although we beat him up quite a bit, he did do a good job. It's a federal bureaucracy, and I just wanted to say thank you to Mr. Mayfield for all the hard work that he did. And if it doesn't happen, call 1-888. Yeah. Jacob touched on two other grant programs. One is the stormwater system grant that we just received under the REDC grants. Myself, Marie, and John Degnan were in Albany for the award date. This is a project that was initiated by Jacob, and we're trying to digitize, I guess, is the whole stormwater system. We received about $128,000 from the state to do this, and it'll help us with compliance and reporting, and it's a significant move into bringing us into the 21st century in regards to our infrastructure. The bigger grant is the conservation grant, the Middletown surface water. As you know, that our surface water comes from as far as Greenville, the runoff, the catchment area. And we were successful in about a $3.1 million grant for acquisition of conservation rights and of property above Kinch Dam. Kinch is our largest source of water collection, and without Kinch, it's our lifeline, Kinch. So we need to protect that water. I think the state has recognized with Hoosick Falls in upstate New York and Newburgh, the problems that they had with water protection, that the opportunity to protect water sources, or the need to protect water sources, is very significant. So when we came back, we went to Albany in the morning with zero, and we came back with about $3.4 million. And so I want to thank our Senator John Bonisick, our Assemblywoman Eileen Gunther. I know Mr. Bonisick is on the REDC, and of course the governor and their staff for seeing that watershed protection is an important issue here in Middletown. We did, with your authority and permission, we did commission a report. I think it was CDM Engineering. Our forefathers did a good job at protecting our major lakes, and so they are pretty well protected. But the watershed area further up on Kinch is where we need some help, and this money will go a long way to adding the necessary protection that is that as we move forward. We'll see an immediate benefit to it. So that's all I have. If you have any questions.
Any questions for the mayor?
More than willing to answer them.
Alderman Kleiner.
Yeah, just, you may want to wait to State of the City, but New York Rising, I've been asked about that, and the courthouse. Can you tell us where we are in those?
Yeah, courthouse, we have finally been approved for reimbursement of the $2.2 million for the purchase. The plans are in front of the State Office of Court Administration for their approval on the design of the court as we reconstruct South Street. They now think it is very doable after much lobbying with the Office of Court Administration and Judge Kokomo. He was very supportive and very cooperative. I think what Jerry might be referencing is there were some problems at one point where the bureaucracy in Albany of the court administration didn't feel that they could fit both courtrooms over at South Street, and that's not the case. So the reimbursement money, as you know, we had to put up $2.2 million to buy the buildings, and that money will be coming back. Caitlin did a good job in economic development and putting together the reimbursement, and I think we're getting everything but $9,850 of the reimbursement, and that money then can be applied towards the construction portion because they also gave us $500,000 for construction. So it's, I think good things will happen in 2018 with that. And you had another part of that? New York Rising?
New York Rising.
Which one are you referring to? West Main and Maple Hill, or are you referring to the $3.5 million?
Yeah, that's we looking at possible acquisition in that area of the brook.
That's which brook is that?
That's the daily. He's
The Daily? Oh, Draper?
No.
Oh, Monhagen, you're talking about down on?
Monhagen, yeah.
Okay, yeah, Genung, okay.
Yeah, because I know
Jacob
there's
probably
a
be in better
deadline on
position
the money, so.
To give you an update on that, but I don't think it's a slow process, as you can see with FEMA. The FEMA director was on last night saying, not only is it slow, but it's getting slower because of all the incidents that, all around the country. But we're in line for it. Most of the FEMA money has been spent and reimbursed, but for some reason that one's not moving as quickly as possible.
Okay.
But you're talking about the one with Laurie DeBoard.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. The design is in place.
Right.
In progress, not in place.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Questions? Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Reports of aldermen. I guess I'm going to start today. We are part-time elected officials. I've read some emails and what's going on. As of December 5th, 2017, our council, this board, passed 350 resolutions. Under the economic development, under Maria Bruni and her team, we have the DRI projects, the facade improvement signage program. Demolition of Woolworth Building has begun and construction. The Paramount Theater, DASNY grant, $100,000 this year. The purchase of the federal courthouse we just spoke about, $2.7 million. The Orange County Health Initiative grants that we received for bicycle racks for the skate park, $3,000. We received 10 bike racks for from the Orange County Planning Department through the Healthy Orange Schools. The CDA rehabbed 3 houses. We had a meeting today. Again, the CDA is run by us, the council. The CDBG funds, grant funds, approximately 22 houses rehabbed and completed. 4 small business loans were given out. We sold 23 Center Street grants. Mayor just talked about over $3 million last week awarded to the city of Middletown. The Middletown Community Campus expansion, we received $500,000 this year. The Department of Homeland Security for $50,000. Under Jacob Twill and his team, and Alderman John Francois and the DPW committee, we started the Black Dirt Sewer Project, $4.1 million. The Maple Hill Drainage Improvements, $1.5 million. West Main Street, Mohegan Brook, $1.18 million. Worrell, it's the Trail Commons Project, $3.1 million. Sterling Street Sewer Collection, again, $1.5 million. Middletown Community Campus, the street lighting, $150,000. The James Kelly Roundabout, $1.6 million. Construction, improvement, sidewalks, $400,000 out of a $2 million grant. We have the Amy's Kitchen agreement ready to go, receiving funds. Purchase heavy equipment. We bought trucks and new street sweeper for over $1.3 million. Replaced the water lead services, Jacob talked about that, and the mayor, $500,000. Police department, we appointed a new police chief. We saw the things that we were doing already. Purchased new vehicles, $394,000. Approved the police program grants equipment, $8,200. Appointed, purchased the new speed trailers. We also, tonight we have to purchase 2 more for $8,600. We added an insulated canine kennel, $6,500. Purchased mobile data terminals, $12,000. We added 4 police officers and our first 4 part-time police officer. We started with our JAG program, awarded $6,500. The police traffic service grant awarded $9,700. Child protective safety grant, $5,000. The GIVE grant, $15,000. Department of Homeland Security, another grant that we received for $50,000. Terrorist improvement grant, $20,000. Solutions funding, $5,000. The DWI grants, $4,000. Crackdown on crime and DWI, $3,300. On the recreation, Chris Brinkerhoff, Tom Burr. Rec Commission, the Maple Hill and Davish Park improvements, $149,000. Improvements of new recreation programs, We see what we're doing every day. Solution funding, $49,000 grant. Skate park. Skate park was, one day we decided to do the skate park, we spent $500,000 on the skate park. New after-school programs. New disc golf coming to Davish Park for $3,400. Fire department under Chief Barone and Don Lewis. We hired 4 new paid firefighters, and we settled the contract with collective bargaining. Community projects, interior municipal agreement with the town of Walk Hill, completing the annexation for the town of Walk Hill. We approved the 2017, 18, 19 capital budget plan. Change of the zoning for the new DMU, downtown mixed use. We approved to update the city website, the citywide cleanup, credit cards payment for in City Hall, allowed live music performance, outdoor cafes. Approved a major scanning project for DPW, Finance, and Corporation Council. And we dedicated Ben Gilman Way. This is just some things that we, as part-time elected officials, completed this year. All the women said.
There we go. Hello, good evening. Where to start? In recent years, I've watched the city of Middletown grow. These past couple of months, I've watched the downtown area be revitalized, downtown businesses grow, a lot of businesses attract people, and a lot of growth, not only within the city, within the community, but the people. I've seen pride in a lot of people when you walk out and you just talk about, oh, what are you doing today? You know, there's something going on in Thurl Park, or there's a movie at the Paramount. Watching that these past couple months, I didn't realize that as I was growing up here. Becoming more involved, you see these things, and I feel like I know that that is the benefit. That was one of the benefits of being on the council. These past 8 months, I was able to have one-on-ones with my residents and identify a couple things, a couple problems that they were having. I was able to help them out alongside with Jude. Other times, like, as always, everything is a process. A couple things took time. Patience is really key in this, and I learned a lot being here. I'm very grateful for the people that I was able to work with, and I'm grateful for everyone who took the time out of their day to come out with me, to meet me at the diner at Colonial, or meet me at the library and say, okay, this is what Middletown is about in case you didn't know, but let me fill you in. And it felt great to know that I wasn't alone, that even though we're not in contact at all times, when it comes to the city of Middletown, we work as a team and we come up with a solution. So I just want to say thank you for that great opportunity, and I hope to see everyone around because I'm still going to stay involved. So thank you very much. Happy holidays, and thank you again.
Alderman John Francois.
Good evening. I just want to wish everyone very happy holidays and Happy New Year. And Mayor, I'm glad you kind of basically this whole couple of days I was very nervous, very anxious. I heard a lot of rumors with the CSCA contract, and I'm glad to hear you actually clarify what exactly that was going on. So I appreciate that a lot. That makes me feel a lot better tonight because I lost sleep just hearing rumors around town about this contract. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Alderman Kleiner.
Thank you, Jacob. Once again, thanks to the guys out in the middle of the night, all night long, fixing water main breaks. Do an amazing job. We've had a lot of people at the warming station. Again, MiddletownWarmingStation.com. If you have anything you can contribute or volunteer, the information is there. They always need hats, socks, gloves, things like that, and they need people to help stay overnight. Congratulations to the fire chiefs, and we look forward to working with you. Don, thanks. You also we had a letter, and I'm sorry I don't have it with me, because you have one of our professional firefighters I know has been called to active duty. And I apologize, I don't remember his name, but, so I wish him well with that and hope he come back safely soon. Kevin, been an absolute pleasure working with you. I maybe didn't have some of Joe's reservations because I've seen you work before, but I think you've just been amazing in terms of how you approach this job and how you've dealt with every complaint and every issue that's come up, and there was nothing that you didn't give full consideration to. So it's been a real pleasure, and I wish you well. Vanessa, I'll be working with you too. We have the Middletown IDs, and it's been great getting to know you, and you got a busy work and education and every other schedule, so I'm sure you're going to stay involved. And, you know, we hear that word community a lot, and a lot more than we used to, and that's just a key word. Other than that, I just wish everyone happy holidays and a happy new year. Thank you.
Alderman Witt.
Thank you very much. I'll try to keep this moving. It's been a long night. Thank you very much for the kind words, Jerry and the mayor and everyone else who's given them to me over the last few months. This was an incredible honor to serve. I'm so grateful to the people who were kind enough to put me in 2013 and then again in 2015. Every day this was a privilege to serve. And on paper it's a part-time gig, but in your brain it's full-time. And I'm not saying that other than just to say it, because if you're constantly thinking about this stuff all the time. But I really do appreciate the opportunity given to me. I'm sure Andrew is going to do a fantastic job sitting here or wherever it gets arranged. Part of this is coming up with your circle, and mine is sitting in the third row right there. My wife and my daughter, Gretchen and Madison, thank you so much for being so supportive of this process and what we've gone through together as a team. So looking forward to spending more time now with the family. This group as a council, I got to tell you, you know, with the mayor and his leadership, I tell you, even when we got sideways a little bit, your door was always open to me. All the time, from like day one to just talk. And it wasn't just about getting your point of view across to me. It was about explaining things, because there's a lot to learn with this. There's a lot to learn and a lot to process and a lot to digest, and we've all gone through it. It's just our work with economic development in this city is going to go down, I think, as historical. For years and years and years, people waited and waited and waited and waited and say, what is going to happen in this city? What's going to happen downtown? Who's going to move in? What are we going to do? And it never came on a consistent basis, at least to my knowledge. If I'm misspeaking, please feel free to clarify. But, you know, bits and pieces at a time. You know, I supported it, and I remember it started sort of with King Street, and it's like, wow, okay. And everything is just sort of built, and there's pieces, and some of the stuff that Miguel talked about is in place. And I remember having a conversation with the mayor not that long ago, saying there's so much just like on the cusp of getting ready to happen. And I hope that it works out and continues to work out, because I think we're heading in a good direction on that stuff. And if I'm wrong on something, feel free to call me out, because that's what, you know, I take this spot, maybe not myself very seriously, but this job and the idea of having, you know, one vote out of 9 very seriously. So, you know, knock on my door if there's something that you didn't like that we did or I did. Thank you to the department heads. You guys were terrific, and women were terrific, helping me help my people, our people. We can ask, and they deliver, and it's their staff. You know, the support staff, I say that with all due respect, because once I walk out of here, that's what my gig is. I'm support staff. So I understand what that's all about, and you know, I really appreciate all the work everyone's done. I would like to just recognize 2 of my classmates, Maria Bruni and Chris Brinkerhoff, for all that you've done in the last 4 years here, how you've progressed. We graduated the same year, but they're much younger than I am. They graduated when they were 9, so I'm not going to tip the hand on the age. If they chose to do that, that's great. But again, the team was good. I'm honored to have served with you folks, and I tried. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Alderman Johnson.
Wow, lots of observations. So, first of all, to Alderwoman Sid and Alderman Witt, I'm a firm believer in teachable moments, and you provided me with several in your time here at the council. I'm really enjoying this position in city government, and I thank you for all you've taught me in your time that you've been here. Secondly, congrats to all the police chiefs on their leadership roles. Thirdly, congratulations to law enforcement for the reaccreditation. Is braggadocious really a word, Jerry, or I'm not sure about that? Okay, I'll have to look it up. I think the raise issue has several silver linings, and I think one of them is it reintroduces the issue of a bargaining unit that is not without a current contract. And I'm going to make some observations which may be irrelevant, but I'm used to that, and you guys are used to that too, so it's all going to be fine. And I make them in view of the fact that I sat on the local school board for 17 years and was an officer for 9 of those years and sat through a lot of negotiations or negotiations that didn't take place. And these are generic observations. Number 1, I think negotiations are very dependent on the attributes that people bring to the table. And the fact is, not everybody who is brought to the table is very good at it, and that's a problem. I'm speaking generically, not about individuals. But attributes are a very important part of success for me. Intent is a very important part of success for me. The people coming into the room, entering the room with the goal of tying this up, finishing it up. You know, when I sat at the school board table, I used to say, if I locked you in a room and said you're not coming out till you're done, it probably wouldn't take 3 years. It might take a week, but I would give you food and water and let you go to the bathroom. But that would be about it. So, but if I locked you in the room, I would feel I am making you have more of an intent to get it done. Because every contract gets settled. No matter how long it takes, they all get settled. Why do it later when you can do it now? Third observation about negotiations is empowerment. Sometimes people that are sitting at the table are not really empowered to settle a contract. And if the answer is you're not empowered, my question is why not? And if you're not, who is? If you're not empowered, it doesn't help you to be at the table. Fourth of all, which I think applies more to public education than government, is logistics. How many times I sit at that table where we didn't meet because this one's lawyer was away or that one's team wasn't available because of a family commitment. And in fact, at one point, as president, I put something on the agenda for the school board meeting that said update on negotiations. And my goal was every 2 weeks, I needed management to come to the table and say, well, what did you do in the last 2 weeks? And it was a little more embarrassing if you said nothing. So I think that is an important part, is the logistics. Next, generically speaking, is communication. It's not always clear that the people at the table are communicating to the constituency. And it's not always clear that the constituency is communicating to the people at the table as far as what they want, what they don't want, what they feel is non-negotiable. I'm almost done. Third is parameters. There are a lot of parameters that go into a contract other than compensation. And sometimes that's more of a stickler than compensation itself. And lastly, and I put it lastly for a reason, is compensation. I sat at the school board table and actually settled contracts with the bargaining unit who settled for less than something they turned down 4 years prior. because time changes some of those parameters, and compensation, even though it seems to be the first thing you're thinking about, sometimes it's the last thing that's really holding it up. So those are my thoughts. I believe in timelines. I believe in pedal to the metal. I believe in New Year's resolutions. I think if everybody took a deep cleansing breath and said on January 1st, we'd like to put this to bed by January 30th, because I hardly agree with the remark that was made earlier in your remarks that a bargaining unit that is working without a current contract, and not without a contract, because your paycheck clears every 2 weeks, so you do have a contract, but it's not a current contract, and I hardly believe that that puts a chip on the shoulder of everybody in that unit of feeling less than important and less than appreciated. So that's my New Year's resolution for you guys. Thank you for your indulgence. I appreciate it.
Alderman Rankin-Soon.
It is always impossible to speak after Alderman Johnson. I just like to put that on the record. I will not repeat. I'll try not to repeat things that have already been said. Paul, I thank you for your time and thought on that. Tonight, I want to speak to Kevin briefly. I want to let you know that working with you for the last 4 years has been my pleasure. Getting to know you, your family. You're a fine person, and you have served this city and the people in particular of the Second Ward with dignity and integrity, and I think they all, if they were here, could thank you for that. It is a big job. We do it to the best that we can, and I think you have definitely done that. I'm truly sorry to see you leave, Kevin. I know in passing the baton to Mr. Green, that we can look for someone who will also strive to do his best in that seat. So I think you can move on with good feelings. Vanessa, I just want you to know that you have set a great example for young people, I think in particular young women, to be unafraid and to put yourself out there. It is not a small thing to go out and run for office. The fact that you're so young inspires me and should inspire other young people. So I want you to take that with you. It's a big thing to go out there and do this. So I hope that you don't give up on this. I hope that this stint in public service has inspired you to keep at it. I hope this is definitely not the last that we see of you, and I'm glad to hear that. So I wish you the best on the next chapter and appreciate your time here on the council. With that, I'll leave it at that tonight. I wish everyone a happy holiday and a happy new year. I look forward with working the new members of the council as we move into 2018, and I just hope everyone has a safe and happy holiday. Thank you.
Alderman Burr.
Thank you. Kevin, I'd like to thank you for your services to the community. I know you're a very oriented Middletown kid growing up playing Little League and football, and any event we had, from Bobby Beerstow's thing, you were there donating your time, and I do appreciate it, and I wish you the best. Vanessa, I wish you the best. I haven't seen much of you, but I know Jude says you're doing a great job. On accreditation to the police department, I'd like to thank the chief again for another accreditation. And another thing, I'd like to thank Chief Barone for his services, many years of being our fire chief, going through the line. Gil Flores, a newcomer coming to our chiefs. Donnie Lewis, you got a great department, and look forward to, we always thank the volunteers for all what they do for the community. And I'd like to wish everybody a happy holiday, and also I'd like to thank the Santa and Mrs. Claus riding around town the other day, giving out candy canes to all the kids. It was great to see them out there. Thank you.
Alderwoman Sid and Alderman Witt, thank you for your service to the city. Thanks for the dedication, and I'm really hoping that the both of you will stay involved, get involved in some of the boards, come back to see us. All too often, when an alderperson leaves, we hardly ever see him again. You guys are very interesting and interested in the city, and I'm hoping that we will continue to see you. To everyone out there, I wish you all a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, whatever religion you have. I hope it's a healthy and happy New Year to all of you. Thank you very much.
Lastly, being on the council for 13 years and seeing part of my job is how to deal with 8 other councilmen and the mayor and behaviors and attitudes and everything. And it's a challenging job. and we always work together. Kevin came on, and he was 100% behind the second ward, 100% with the constituents, and it's really easy for us to say, all right, problem in the second ward, Kevin and Kleiner, you got it. It's very, very, very easy, and they didn't miss a constituent meeting. If there was an issue, we got the email at 2 o'clock in the morning, and there was an issue, he let us know. Vanessa came in 8 months ago and walked right in the office and says, I'm here to work, I'm here to do what we got to do, and she went, running. And it's been an honor to serve with you guys, and I wish you well, and definitely I will appoint you guys to any committee you want, and to continue serving in the city of Middletown. Thank you. New business.
We have a resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt for the mayor to sign renewal agreement with the Humane Society of Middletown for 2018. The terms and conditions are the same as 2017.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt, seconded by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion? Alderman Johnson.
Yeah, I don't want to take up too much time. I just want to do my annual statement. Next month will mark my 35th year of working with the Middletown Humane Society. I'm eligible to vote on this contract, but I want to make it clear that I work with them. Some of that work is pro bono, some of that is discounted services, some of that is full service. So that should be clear and open. I also want to take this opportunity to remind people of two things. Number one, we tried to start a spay-neuter, trap, neuter, and release program with Helpers for Shelters. That kind of fell by the wayside. Robin Stewart took it up and named her group Dumped Strays, and I was speaking with her today, and I'm happy to report that Robin and her volunteers have spayed or neutered 192 cats within the city of Middletown in the calendar year. I have contributed 36 of those surgeries as pro bono for the good of the city, and I really feel confident with Robin. We have a good team working together. And lastly, if you're interested in the Middletown Humane, they were applying for a grant, about a $600,000 grant, which is put out by Ag and Markets has a Companion Animal Capital Fund, and they are soliciting letters. The deadline would be December 30th to write a letter of support to what your Middletown Humane Society is doing and why they should be eligible. They already have an architect who's provided services with a schematic of what it might look like for major expansion. And if you're interested, the number is 361-1861, beginning of the Civil War, easy to remember. And you can talk with Maureen Hogan, the director, or Marlene Freehill, the president of the board, and they would very much appreciate if you would give some feedback. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Roll.
Ramkusoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt to allow the treasurer to transfer $1,600 within the DPW 2017 budget to cover the costs of an emergency tree removal at the Middletown Community Campus.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt, seconded by Alderman Sid. Any discussion? Roll.
Ramkusoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt for the mayor to sign a renewal agreement with NAMI to administer the city's tail claim workers' compensation program.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt, seconded by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion? Roll.
Ramkusoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt to accept a $1,000 donation from the Middletown PBA in support of the Giving Tree Program.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt, seconded by Alderman Burr. Any discussion? Roll.
Ramkusoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt to declare 4 vehicles surplus at the Recreation and Parks Department.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt, seconded by Alderman Burr. Any discussion? Roll.
Ramkusoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez. Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt to transfer $2,000 within the Recreation and Parks Department 2017 budget to cover shortages of funds.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt, seconded by Alderman Burr. Any discussion? Roll.
Ramkusoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez. Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt to authorize the treasurer to transfer a total of $90,150 within the 2017 Fire Department's budget.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt, second by Alderman Massey. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with JCO, Inc. for management services to the city water production system for 1 year at the same cost.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt, second by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt to authorize the treasurer to transfer a total of $15,143 within the DPW 2017 budget to cover expenses for CDM for a study street light ownership for the repairs to the lighting to the Psych Center.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Witt, second by Alderman John Francois. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Sid to transfer a total of $20,800 within the DPW 2017 budget to cover the cost of 2 new cabinets and 2 controllers located at the Dolson Avenue County Route 78 and Dolson Avenue Taco Bell and the 2 solar-powered radar speed sign.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Sid, seconded by Alderman Johnson. Any discussion?
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Sid to authorize the treasurer to transfer $2,700 within the sewer fund balance to cover the cost of unexpected sewer collapse repairs discovered behind Bunnell Place.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Sid, seconded by Alderman Reckless-Zoom. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Sid to authorize the treasurer to transfer $7,500 within the DPW 2017 budget to cover cost of overtime for the sanitation department.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Sid, seconded by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Sid to authorize the mayor to sign a software agreement with Assessio's Showware supporting its current point-of-sale ticketing system for the Paramount
Resolution
Theater.
sponsored by Alderman Sid, seconded by Alderman Johnson. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Sid to authorize the mayor to sign a proposal from Clark Patterson Lee for the Maple Avenue drainage improvements.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Sid, seconded by Alderman John Francois. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Finally, aye.
Johnson.
Aye, aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Sid to authorize the mayor to sign the proposal from Clark Patterson Lee for the West Main Street drainage improvements.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Sid, seconded by Alderman Reckless-Zoom. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Sid to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with CDM Smith for professional consulting services for anaerobic digester startup assistance to assist the wastewater treatment plant operators.
Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Sid, seconded by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Sid to accept the bid for a custom heavy-duty Resco pumper to replace engine 126 for Manhagan Hose Company Number 1.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Sid, seconded by Alderman Burr. Any discussion? Roll.
Graham Cassoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez. Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Sid to authorize the treasurer to transfer $42,540 from the general fund balance for funds to cover the cost of 600 tons of additional salt.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Sid. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Massey. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Cassoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. That is all for new business.
Resolution from the floor.
Alderman Massey.
Be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Middletown that the Common Council hereby ratifies and approves the mayor's signing of the PSA and authorize the mayor to sign all of the closing documents in order to close and complete the purchase of the street lighting facilities.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman Sid. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Cassoon.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Sid.
Aye.
Witt.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Local laws.
Tonight, we have a vote for local law number 6 of 2017 to amend the charter of the City of Middletown, New York to increase the salaries of the mayor and the Common Council president, and is sponsored by Alderman Massey.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman John Francois. Any discussion? Alderman Massey.
If you look at the slide up there, I thought a picture is worth 1,000 words. You could take a moment and look at it, and there's a comparison. Those figures I got either off the internet, from the newspaper, or I actually called a couple town supervisors' offices to get those. They may be off by a little bit one way or the other, but that's what you have. You can all read it. I guess I don't have to read it to you, but if you look at the city of Newburgh, the town of Newburgh, and town of New Windsor, and of course we've got city of Middletown at the end. There's their budgets, there's their populations, there's what the mayors or supervisors get, and in a relationship with the city of Newburgh, since they only have a part-time mayor, they have a city manager that does what our mayor does, and there's the salaries. So I pretty much think it speaks for itself. I'll leave it at that.
Anyone else? Alderman Johnson.
So it's taken on some, I think, significant attention on the part of the board and the community as to how we're proceeding. Once again, for me, I'm looking at the position, not the individuals, so whether the currently seated people have done a great job or not so great job, I don't think that speaks to the future. I think it speaks to the position. Both of these individuals are elected by the city at large. They both serve 4-year terms. If you look at the charter, the Common Council president is indeed second in command. I think there is more responsibility in the job than for those of us as older persons. And I think it's an investment in our city and in our future. And I don't really have any problem in supporting this salary increase for both of these positions. Thank you.
Anyone else? Alderman Kleiner.
Thank you. I think I just need to make my position clear on this and address 2 points that were in the paper. This did not come out of the Finance Committee. And we do not, that I know of, have a policy of reviewing salaries every 4 years. I don't know where either of those, where they got either point of information. 4 years ago, during and after the last election, we raised the salary. The mayor's was in October, the council president's in the council's, actually the whole council was in November. I spoke out against both at the time, even though the record said no one did, but they weren't here. I spoke during for the good of the city, and I spoke at the public hearings, and my point was clear, and it's the same now. It's on principle. Raises should be proposed before the election to take effect after the election in the next term. It was stated that the purpose of the raise was to attract good candidates. You don't do that after the chance to run for office has passed. I also stated at the time that the raises were certainly appropriate and certainly deserved. The mayor's salary went from $39,000 to $75,000, the council president from $6,500 to $15,000, the alderman from $5,000 to $10,000, all with benefits. Those were significant increases. In addition, council meetings had been reduced from 4 each month to 2 each month. Now, everyone running for office this year knew exactly what those salaries were, and that is the office they ran for. No one mentioned wanting to raise the pay before or during the campaign that I saw. I just wanted to add the 27th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which was proposed with the Bill of Rights in 1789 and was finally confirmed in 1992, simply says, "No law varying the compensation for the services of the senators and representatives shall take effect until an election of representatives shall have intervened for the next election cycle." That allows candidates to know the compensation and the voters to throw out anyone voting for the raise if they so choose. So I don't appreciate being put in this position. I made that point strongly 4 years ago. If you want to do raises, do them for the next election cycle. Is the mayor, council president, are they worth the proposed increase? And as I said 4 years ago, certainly. But it is improper to give those raises now, certainly. Had they been proposed in April even, I would have strongly supported them. But I'm sorry that now I cannot. I just don't think it's ethical to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Alderman Massey.
Jerry, I support your idea that you stay consistent. Would you mind also telling those people out there, when the last raises came through, did you accept them?
We're not going to go back and forth.
Lee Giroux, when he was on this council, thought enough of when that happened, he did not. So, I mean, it's nice for you to say what you had to say, and I do respect the idea that you stay consistent. But when those paychecks came, you never once turned it back into the city of Middletown, which other aldermen have done.
Anyone else? Roll.
Ram Kasoon,
No.
Johnson,
Aye.
John Francois,
Aye.
Sid,
Aye.
Witt,
No.
Kleiner,
No.
Burr,
Aye.
Yes.
President Rodriguez. Aye. Resolution passes 6-2-3.
Mr. President, I move the accounts be audited, the claims be adjusted, and the city treasurer be authorized to issue warrants for their payment.
Aye.
Aye.
John Francois,
Aye.
Sid, Witt,
Aye.
Kleiner,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Move for adjournment.
So moved.